September 2008. Elon Musk is 37 years old, recently divorced, and nearly out of cash. He is standing on a remote island, watching his team prep for a launch after his first 3 rockets exploded. His other company, Tesla, is also running out of money. The global financial crisis has stalled car sales, and Musk is borrowing from friends just to cover his personal rent. This 4th launch is the endgame. If this rocket fails, SpaceX will shut down operations by morning and sell its equipment to pay off creditors. That 4th rocket reached orbit. Fast forwarding to today, SpaceX's valuation has surged so high that Musk has reached trillionaire status, making him the wealthiest individual in history. The company is now worth more than the entire GDP of Australia. Space exploration has always been a massive financial drain. To understand how a near-bankrupt startup turned it into a trillion-dollar engine, we have to look at how they changed the math of building things. In 2001, Musk had a simple plan: buy a cheap rocket and send a small greenhouse to Mars. He thought a mouse on the red planet would generate enough media buzz to force NASA to increase its budget. He traveled to Russia to buy decommissioned missiles like this one, but the Russian generals didn't take him seriously. They mocked him, and one reportedly spat on him, before demanding a price that would have wiped out his entire fortune. On the flight home, Musk calculated what he calls the idiot index. It's a ratio comparing the cost of a finished product against the cost of its raw materials. He realized the aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber needed to build a rocket only cost 2% of the final price. The other 98% was being swallowed by outsourced labor and middleman markups. This forced a pivot. He stopped looking for a rocket to buy and began building a factory to manufacture them in-house, cutting out the middlemen and the 98% markup. While SpaceX still launches cargo for others, these rockets now primarily serve as the delivery system for their own internal businesses. The first pillar is Starlink. SpaceX currently owns 75% of all active satellites in orbit, creating a global internet network that reaches places where fiber cables can't go. With over 15 million subscribers, Starlink generates a 40% profit margin. Because SpaceX uses its own rockets, they can launch satellites for a fraction of what a competitor would pay. The second pillar is delivery services. NASA and the Pentagon pay SpaceX billions to ferry astronauts and sensitive military hardware into orbit, essentially subsidizing the company's research and development. Third, SpaceX functions as a holding company. It has absorbed entities like X and xAI, using its massive infrastructure to house and support these data-heavy businesses. Finally, the company manages a corporate treasury that includes over 18,000 Bitcoin and plans for space-based data centers that can draw power directly from the sun. By controlling the rockets, the satellites, and the data centers, SpaceX has built an ecosystem where each part makes the others cheaper and more profitable. This ecosystem is now funding Starship. It is the largest rocket ever built, designed to carry 150,000 kilograms of cargo into space. On Earth, Starship is designed to bypass traditional shipping. It can move massive amounts of freight between continents in under an hour, potentially making sea-based cargo ships obsolete for high-priority goods. This shift demonstrates a change in how large-scale businesses operate. Success no longer comes from selling a single product, but from owning the entire supply chain and the infrastructure that carries it. In 2001, the experts who laughed at Musk's plan to buy a rocket were looking at a customer. They didn't realize he was about to become their biggest competitor. Musk didn't just build a better rocket to save his company in 2008. He used the idiot index to rebuild the basic infrastructure of the global economy from the ground up.